Welcome, everyone, to the first of what I hope is going to be a daily wrap up market update and my thoughts on individual names. So, the watch list I'm going to take going into tomorrow when it comes to swing trading. If you're interested in having this emailed to you every day, along with the actual screenshots for all these charts, link is in the description below for that. Without further ado, let's just get into it, starting here with Bitcoin. So, we have a little bit of a breakdown on Bitcoin. I drew the anchored view app from this low right here, and we've kind of, you see we tagged it right in this area right here, and we were kind of flirting with it for a while, and we finally broke down. So I actually added to a short that I've been in from this kind of area right here on this today, hoping that we pull down. We'll see what happens if we test the 200-day moving average on this one. Now into some more individual kind of equity names. Let's actually take a look to begin with at the S&P 500. So we're back kind of right in this range. We had a nice little lift earlier in the day. This high right here is super interesting, in which we had a little bit of a breakout that occurred and then kind of faked right back down into the range. So could be a little bit of a bull trap where it breaks out, the bulls get all excited, smashes back down, they go, okay, well, now we got to reassess. But we're in no real danger until we kind of break these prior lows right here, or the lows total on this kind of thing. So you can see the note I have here, it's just range bound. So we were in this range since end of March, kind of chopping around in it. We faked out a little bit, but now we're just back in the range. So it doesn't make sense to get super scared one way or the other. If I go to Berk B here, you can see this is a pretty important area. So I'm watching this one, and Berk is kind of my risk off type of indicator. And we're holding that right there. So around 320 is interesting for Berk B. If we start to pull off of this level, I may actually look to take a trade on this name. It's kind of a good way to get exposure to risk off type of securities. Into this right here, let's actually make this ARKK. This is just kind of a dashboard that I have set up here with Trade Ideas. Link for that in the description below as well. That has kind of looking at risk on versus risk off, right? So here we have the consumer staples, here we have utilities, here we have ARK, and here we have XLK. So the top two are our risk on assets. We have ARK, that Kathy invests in unprofitable speculative growth names. And then we have technology, which is just more about, again, these speculative kind of growthy companies. XLP, consumer staples. So, food, Campbell Soup, right? Really, really passive investments like that. And same with utilities, really kind of passive stuff there as well. So with XLP and XLU, in more of a downtrend than these names right here, it doesn't make me think that this is what I would want to see if I was nervous about the market. I wouldn't, if the market was nervous about something, I don't think that we would have XLK, and I don't think we would have ARK moving up while we have XLP and XLU moving down. If these reversed, then it kind of gives me an indication of, okay, now we may be, getting into a little bit of a risk-off kind of stance here. So cautiously optimistic, still within a range, have to deal with that range, but let's get into the watch list that I have for tomorrow. Just put that right there. First of all, BEMA. Dealing with this one here, we had a nice gap up here on earnings, and it's been consolidating ever since the earnings area. I'm looking to see if we can get a break and a hold above this. 32% short float on this one is pretty significant on that one for me, a 32% short float. HELE, another big short float on this one, 28%. The main kind of thing I'm looking at here, if we zoom in, again, if you guys don't know, these are coming soon to Trade Ideas. So this is a picture-in-picture chart. So the weekly chart, or the chart you see here, is of a weekly time frame of whatever I'm looking at, and the main one's a daily. So this thing's been obviously, destroyed, hammered for a long period of time on the weekly chart, but it's been putting in a nice sideways base. It's been consolidating after that sell-off for a while. And on this candle right here, we had earnings. I gapped up on earnings, ran right through earnings, and now it's consolidating sideways. So if this starts moving higher, I think maybe these 28% people that are short this float got to get nervous, got to move on a little bit. TAL, this is kind of my proxy. I'm watching this one as the best looking Chinese play that I can find. So I'm just kind of keeping an eye on that one to see if China starts to move. So will this one. LTH, Lifetime Fitness, just kind of playing it against that prior breakout area right there. Again, anytime you see this yellow horizontal line, this is an earnings date. So positive move after earnings, sideways consolidation, holding this prior breakout. So hoping we get a little pop on that guy right there. Shopify, pulling back after this break. So if Shopify can hold and start to move higher, that's kind of interesting to me. But until then, not really too concerned on Car Gurus right here, pulling back to the anchored VWAP right before the gap. And this is quickly becoming one of my favorite setups. You can see Brian Shannon's book up here on anchored VWAP. If you haven't read it yet, certainly check it out. But the idea is simple, that if you have a strong move off of earnings and you're looking for some area to potentially buy the stock to make sure that that pushes higher, these anchored VWAPs from the candle right before that kind of helps out. So pulls out, it's still holding its lows right here. It's holding that area. So I'm looking for this one to see if we can move higher a bit. And then we have a pretty significant area here at 20. You can see we spiked up to it here, and then we messed around it here. So if you can get a good little entry here and then we break 20, maybe we'll be off to the races on this one. Toro, which is, I don't know what these guys do, but IPO is right here. And it's just kind of been slowly trending higher. So I already own some of this stuff from around this area, call it $3.50, $4, somewhere around there. Trying to see if we can get above and hold above the topping tails that we have here and the topping tails that we have here. So if we can get above that, I like the look of that one. BEAM, basically just a same kind of thing as that HELE, where basically you have a stock that's been in a downtrend for a long period of time. I never want to buy it when it's in a downtrend, but it may be putting in a higher low here and 22% of the float short. PRTA, this one is flirting with that same kind of idea of big, strong move after earnings. So whatever they announced in earnings was good. I don't need to know what that is. Pulls back to the anchored VWAP from right before earnings, holds on to that as well. So again, this is something that I was doing with Stats Edge Pro. I've decided to then open that up and kind of make it free to everybody. If you want the email sent right to your door, that will be the first link in the description or in my bio, depending on where you're seeing this. And yeah, give it a like, share it around, let me know what you think. I'm hoping to do these daily. So again, stay tuned to whatever social you're seeing this on, and you should see more of this content as time goes on.